Welcome to the short Webinette on Rootstock Mobile.
You can now make mobile apps in particular much more tailored to frontline users that may not have had mobile before, and they may not have access to training and things like that. You may want them to go count inventory or something like that, and you want to hand them a mobile device and have them do that without a lot of training in that. So one of the ideas of this whole thing is that you can take kind of the base things that we've done or build your own from scratch, but take them, tailor them to your specific environment, your product lines, your facilities, things like that, in a clicks not code way, and do it very easy and be able to upgrade over time. It's not like the old ERP systems of the past. So it's an entirely different view of it. And the last thing I'll say on this is when you do build your own things or you modify it, Rootstock governance is still underneath the whole thing. We're not going to let you say enter in debits and credits that don't equal, as an example. That the business rules are there to make sure if you are building some of your own stuff that you're protected. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ramesh. Ramesh?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tom. So Ramesh Sundar, I head up the product management for mobile. So I'm super excited today to kind of showcase Rootstock Mobile on the Salesforce mobile app. You must be familiar with the Salesforce mobile app, but if not, then I can give you a quick overview here. So just to give some background, like Tom mentioned, right, Rootstock has become now the digital core for a number of customers, and a lot of our customers have come to rely on Rootstock for the mission critical business processes, right? And Rootstock is fully integrated with Salesforce apps. So now we are bringing that robustness of Rootstock and the robustness of the platform on the mobile devices so that most of the transactions that you see working in Rootstock Mobile are available, Rootstock are available on the mobile device, right? So let's look at what is Salesforce mobile app, right? So it's something that you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store. It's a standard delivery from Salesforce. It's part of the platform. Your app experience is very consistent with what you would have on the desktop. It is highly configurable. And like Tom mentioned, a lot of the capabilities like chatter, notifications, and other things come for free. The idea for us was not only just to bring another offering on the mobile devices, but bring it to you in a way that allows you to extend it and at the same time leverage your existing investments that you might have already made in Salesforce platform, right? And like Tom mentioned, that is highly configurable with Lightning flows, and we are moving in the direction where we're delivering Rootstock application with clicks, not code, so that you have the flexibility for configuring your user experience the way you would like from a business standpoint, right? So if we can move to the next slide.
Particularly like that last point, Ramesh, was that last point you made is you can publish these apps very, very quickly. Change them, clicks, not code, and get them out like that.
Absolutely, yeah. No, thanks for highlighting that, because this is one of the core capabilities within the Rootstock mobile app, is that because it sits on top of the Salesforce mobile, there is no additional overhead that the customers have to publish an app and go through the approval process in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. This is available immediately, and the publishing time is also dramatically reduced. So the customers basically control what apps go into the Salesforce mobile platform, and then that's something that can be controlled and managed very easily. So what we are delivering in the first version right now is some of the core capabilities that are in Rootstock, especially focused on inventory, purchase order, sales order functionality, as well as work orders. This is our beginning, and we have prioritized certain mission critical businesses that are business processes that are important for our customers, and then this list is going to grow over a period of time. One of the important aspects for us was to kind of be on the platform and be able to leverage our investments that we have made in products like Root Forms, which basically allows you to print documents, and also leverage the mobile native capabilities of scanning and using camera as a scanning device to scan QR codes and OCR. This is something that can be facilitated with the Salesforce mobile app, connecting it to the scanners that are Bluetooth scanners, as well as some software keyboard scanners that are now readily available on the App Store. And the mobile native capabilities of capturing pictures and documents kind of lends itself into a mobile scenario very well. So if you're receiving items from a purchasing standpoint, if you want to capture how that box looks or how the product looks, you are able to do that now within the app, and I'll show you that in the demo as well. And part of this is because all this is powered by the flows, the lightning flows. You have the capability to kind of modify this. So we delivered pre-configured templates, and these are accelerators for you to kind of get started with. The functionality works out of the box. But if you have custom fields and if you wanted to kind of improve the flow, you have the ability to do that just going into the flow builder and basically modifying a few things. And I'll showcase one such example also today. So overall, I mean, we feel very comfortable with the strategy. Our strategy is to deliver Rootstock Mobile on Salesforce Mobile, and it'll have some good benefits for our customers. The most important one is the lowering the TCO. Customers who have made investments in Salesforce with all permission sets and custom fields and other capabilities can now easily leverage that on the Salesforce mobile platform. Extensibility, we talked about that. The flexibility, right? So the ability for you to kind of now have the ERP in your pocket and on your fingertips. I mean, that's definitely something that we wanted to focus on. And as Salesforce improves the capabilities in the Salesforce mobile app, those benefits come directly to you. So that is something that we will, be leveraging going forward as we add more apps to Rootstock Mobile, as well as Salesforce is also investing in the Salesforce mobile app, so that basically comes to you for free. So in the future, you can imagine doing a lot of things over voice. You could speak into the phone if you wanted to move stock from one location to the other, or you could do some interesting things with barcode scanning that are inbuilt in the Salesforce mobile app, which is part of the roadmap. With that, I would like to move to a demo. So what you would see is we are delivering the 4 apps that you would see at the bottom: inventory, mobile purchase, sales orders, and work orders. Let me start with mobile inventory and then give you a sense of what will be included in that. So right off the bat, you can now get some useful insights in the form of dashboards and reports that you might have already created for your organizations. Those are immediately available for you within your mobile device, right? So, and these are all based on roles and authorizations and permission sets that have been set. So all the security settings that are there as part of Salesforce would apply here as well. So this is one advantage of getting it into the Lightning and the Salesforce mobile framework is you have the ability now to get these dashboards right off the bat. The other thing is, the transactions that you have been able to view from a Salesforce standpoint, those transactions are, those Lightning pages are directly applicable on the mobile platform as well. So all the Lightning pages that you might have built can be consumed here. We have delivered a few Lightning pages here so that you can take a look at specifically an inventory by location. There are some capabilities that are already there that come included with this kind of a Lightning page. So on the top, you would see 2 buttons. One is print the location and the other is location transfer. So if you wanted to transfer items from one location to another. For example, I want to transfer 50 units of this to another location, let's say a backflush location. I can give a number, right? So this transaction is basically executed, and the backbone for this is basically the Rootstock ERP APIs running the transaction and then completing that. So all that is, can be now viewed in the details for, so there's the related sections and all the activities that happened. You can view it here. So I just move 50, so that's what shows at the top, right? So so that's one use case. The other use case is sometimes you want to be able to scan the barcode or the QR code for this particular location, so that it becomes easier for you to put stuff into this location. So we have built in the capability to integrate with our product called Root Forms. So that's an investment we have made to be able to print documents. So once you do that, it basically creates a label for this particular location that can be used later on. If you wanted to see how that label looks like, there's a link here that you provided, and basically that shows you the QR code and the location and the barcode for that particular location. Right. So now you're able to not only look at that here, but also if you wanted to print it, that becomes part of your notes and attachments, and you're able to go and open up that document and log in. Additional security there, and you can directly print to a printer. Right, so the ability for anyone to kind of print such labels, not only for locations, but also for items, is something that we have heard from many customers. We have decided to kind of put that into the product so that that same flow now can apply to anything that you would want to print. It has the context of the transaction that you are in. So if you would want to use that same flow for printing a purchase order label or something like that, then you can reuse that same flow to do similar stuff. Right, so there's the same flow that comes here where you can now print a label for the item. So that's one other example. Right. So again, emphasizing the fact that it's clicks, not code, and reusability has been the most important part of that. The same flow can be used inside the context of a transaction, and it can be done outside the context of the transaction. So if I wanted to print the barcode for the location and I'm not in the context, and let's say if you don't want the other page to be exposed, you can go here and it'll prompt you to identify the location, and then basically you pick the one that you want, and then it creates the document. So these are some of the things that I wanted to kind of showcase the flexibility and the usage of that, whether it is in the context of a transaction or outside the context. It's basically able to adapt to the scenario. We've released a feature called license plating as part of our newer release. So as you can see, it's all about managing inventory in containers, and there is a version for that also that we're shipping in the products. As we add more features into Rootstock, that will surface on the mobile side. And we have standardized the API calls for Rootstock so that all these apps can be built. And we have taken the trouble of kind of investing in making sure that all these apps that we are pre-delivering kind of support most of the functionality that you would see in Rootstock. Okay, let me move to another area, which is purchasing, and here's where it becomes interesting. Typically, for a purchase order, you would do receiving. You would receive the item. So once the purchase order has gone through the different stages, you know, we have the option at the top again, receiving. There's a version of the action for receiving without a container and with a container. So let's say if I'm doing it without the container, I get all the details for that particular purchase order, what item it is, and what line is it. And then once I pick up that line, there could be multiple lines where there's only one that had outstanding receipts to be made. So I can basically go in and receive 2 of that. Now here's where I could now start using the Bluetooth connectivity or a Bluetooth device that can be attached to the phone, or you could run through a software keyboard, and that's something that I have on the screen. As you can notice, there is a barcode reader as well as an OCR built into this app, and this is one of the apps that are one of the many apps that are available in the App Store. So you could basically download that, activate the keyboard. What I would do now is basically use my keyboard, and if I'm having a box, I'll basically go in and scan, point to the box, and then it'll basically pick the packing slip, right? I could, also put in the lot number, so I could basically type in. In many cases, you could also speak into the device. Those are the native capabilities that are already available. So I can't do it right now because I'm doing a Zoom, but that is also an option that you have. So if I have the lot number, I can also use the OCR scanner and point to a specific text. And basically, that just makes it easier for you to now quickly complete that transaction using other devices that are that can be connected to a phone. Now, once you're receiving, there's a use case where you would want to kind of attach the picture of the box or a bill of lading. I have a bill of lading on my table, so just basically go and take a picture there. This picture gets uploaded as files and attachments for that particular receipt. And pretty much that's it. So once all those details are put in, we call the API for the backend to complete the receipt, and the receipt is completed. All right, so this is another example where you can use the mobile native capabilities quite effectively. And you can now go into the receipts and find out what receipts have happened, and so on and so forth. And the document is basically attached to the if you go into the files, you should be able to see that document that is just attached. Right. So quick ways for you to kind of not only enter the transactions, but also view what's happening there. So again, it's the same flow, context sensitive. You could call it from a PO line. So when I'm calling from a PO line and doing a receipt, it understands that you are on a PO line, so it doesn't ask you for a line number and things of those nature. If the same transaction is executed outside, you could start from an item, right? And basically, you're receiving an item, and that's typically a use case. and sometimes you're able to scan in the item. So, you use the key to scan in the item. And then hit the next and so on and so forth. Right now, I don't have the exact item there, but it just gives you a sense of what, how that would look like. Yeah. So that's about mobile purchasing. From a sales order perspective, again, a similar concept. You can do sales order issue or sales order fulfillment as part of the mobile device. And here you could basically, identify what sales orders you're going to pick, or you could go into the sales order header and pick a specific sales order and start the fulfillment process here so it understands sales order. So the things that you would see on a typical transaction in terms of allocate, pick, pack, ship, we've kind of made that available here so you can go through, similar steps that you are used to seeing in the Rootstock transaction, right? So now that I have done that, now that I've done the allocation, now I have only options for pick, pack, and ship. So, so that gives you a sense of, how we could basically, do some of these transactions on the mobile device. Again, these are standard things that we ship out of the box, but you have the ability to change that as well.
Visit rootstock.com/demo to request a personal demo. Thank you for your time.